Porky's is a 1982 teen sex comedy starring Dan Monahan, Mark Harrier, Khaki Hunter, Wyatt Knight, drunk in a Clint Eastwood Western, Doug McGrath, Kim Cattrall, Chuck Mitchell, Nancy Motel Hell Parsons, and Scott Cullenby.
Wait a minute. Scott Cullenby? He looks familiar. Wait a minute.
It's Nunzio!
Directed by Bob A Christmas Story Clark, the film can be summed up as if you took American Graffiti, but it ran at 2 o'clock in the morning on Cinemax.
Angel Beach High School is populated with a bunch of 28-year-old seniors as they try to get laid and have a good time in 1950s Florida.
And Pee-wee is the horniest of them all.
Okay, I'm ready.
To the point of measuring his dick every morning. There are pranks with whores in the middle of the Everglades.
But let's be honest, who hasn't been naked in the middle of the night in the Everglades? I mean, am I right?
Wow, cops back in the day were pretty easy going. Wait, is that Susan Clark?
That's Webster's mom!
Okay, who posted this on Facebook? I mean, Tim's drunk dad found out really fast that his son ran away from a large black man carrying a machete drenched in blood in the middle of the night in a swamp.
You know what? I go along with this dad and call him a pussy too.
Some of the guys, horned up and ready to go, decide to take a drive to a redneck brothel and gambling den called Porky's. They end up getting screwed out of $100, which is the equivalent of $472,000 today. And they get run off by the local sheriff. Wait. Is that... It is! It's Alex Karras!
I tell you what, if Emmanuel Lewis shows up, it's going to turn into a very awkward situation.
The movie gets weird anyway, with a subplot about Miss Honeywell being called Lassie. You want to find out why?
Just get her up in the equipment room, and we'll find out.
And this'll happen.
Then you get to the legendary peephole situation. That would get you 20 years in the slam today.
Not too much trouble, because these are 28-year-old guys peeping on 24-year-old girls in a pseudo-high school shower.
When Polly the Penis makes an appearance, that kicks your sentence up to 30 years. Ms. Ballbreaker decides to get a hold of the situation.
You see what I did there?
And demands a penis lineup. But this is pre-Patriot Act, and she gets laughed out of the room. They have a dance that gets interrupted first by Tim's abusive, drunken, Facebook-loving father. Then 30 seconds later, Mickey collapses into the dance, wrecking the joint after being severely beaten by Porky.
You see, Mickey has continued to go out to Porky's getting into fights. Because, hey, it's $472,000.
They create an elaborate plan of explosives, property destruction, and attempted murder with a cop.
Remember, this is pre-Patriot Act.
They wind up pulling off the plan and return the conquering heroes, including police intimidation, a marching band, and apparently full support from the school district.
I hope those kids have their parents' permission for being out so late celebrating whorehouse destruction. Porky's was one of those films in the 80s that was leading the charge of the teen sex comedy. There were jiggle pictures before this one, but this was a film to let the movie studios know that mainstream audiences would be into something like this, instead of some guy jerking off at the drive-in. It was the #1 film in America for 8 weeks until being booted off by some movie called E.T. the Extraterrestrial. It's crass and quite unbelievable, but the film holds up. I wouldn't call it one of the greatest movies ever made, but I would watch it again just for the tallywhacker scene, which is hilarious.
But I've got him now, and I'm not going to let him slip through my fingers again.
Porky's 2, The Next Day, is the 1983 sequel to the previous year's teen sex comedy smash Porky's.
The film stars... I'm not doing this again. We got 3 of these goddamn movies. I'm going to have to say these names 3 goddamn times. No. Here. Just dump what I said in the first one of the people that are in this. And then put whatever. And then just add the people that are in this. You know. This fucking sequel's not worth it, man.
Joseph Running Fox. Eric Christmas. Bill Wiley. Edward Winter. Not Edgar Winter. Edward Winter. And Sissy Cameron.
The film starts the next day. After that long night of driving Porky down.
They look well rested for being up all night, but some toll must have been taken because they all look like they're 29 now.
The opening moments are so similar to the first film, I thought I'd put that one in by mistake.
Peewee now thinks he's a big man on campus after getting laid, and starts bragging about sowing a seed all across Central Florida. This winds up getting him suckered into having to find easy ladies for the rest of the fellas.
But first, I want to show you an example of, I guess, is Porky's continuity.
When?
How about lunch? Okay.
Please note, she is going to meet Pee-wee after lunch. Now we will go to the next scene that Wendy is in.
You're right, 5'10" on the nose.
I told you she goes to the bathroom 5'10" every day.
So according to the film, it is now 5'10". Now the next scene Wendy is in?
She meets him after lunch.
So what exactly is the time that these kids get to school? Like 4:30 in the morning? Jesus Christ, we were tougher back in the 50s.
After being told continuously that Wendy is the easiest girl in school, there's a tender moment where she admits that's all bullshit.
Pee-wee wants revenge for the entire Cherry Forever fiasco from the first film and comes up with Graveyard Gloria, a gal that is horny for cemeteries.
But his pals have circumvented his plan, and Gloria is now a double agent, participating in a prank on Pee-wee. Hey, if the state fair started getting exotic dancers, it may help their attendance. Pee-wee winds up practicing public nudity again, just like the first movie.
After all this fun is over, we get to the real plot of the film, which involves the Shakespeare Festival that the kids are putting on at school.
Reverend Bubba Flavel.
Bubble flavor?
Bubba Flavel.
And his righteous flock want the festival shut down, leading to a showdown between Mr. Carter and the religious right and scumbag politicians.
And, what says you, Mr. Carter? Get the fuck out of here!
It's not just the religious right that has a problem with the Shakespeare Festival. The KKK gets on board due to the fact that John Henry is playing Romeo and is going to be kissing Wendy's Juliet. You know, it looks like John Henry is the only minority at Angel Beach High School, so I guess this is all the Klan has to do. Ms. Ballbreaker, who seems to enjoy singing while dropping a deuce, all the while wearing Andre the Giant's sweatshirt, is about to get hers. How do they know which stall she'd go in? And that's not how plumbing works. Oh shit. They got blueprints, okay, solves everything. Bob Clark only directed the sequel so he could do a movie that he really wanted to do. You know what it is? Here's a hint. It's a major award! It's gonna look great right in our front room window! No! The festival gets shut down and the gang plots revenge. Hopefully, they're not going to almost kill anyone this time. The clan gets their head shaved and deposited at Flavel's Celebration Revival. This has led me to wonder if Reverend Bubba Flavel also happens to be Steve Bannon's dad. We also get Full Frontal Klansman, which is something I never really wanted to see. Meanwhile, Wendy is ruining the career of one of the councilmen that kind of screwed the gang over by playing a 17-year-old Lolita.
Bobby! 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 Bobby, I lost my cherry. Bobby, if you get my cherry again, you saucy little devil, you can't get a girl's cherry twice, you sly goose.
Sorry, Colonel Trask. Ugh, boob vomit. Flavel and the remaining councilmen get exposed as perverts after audio of them watching a stag film in a basement is played for all the world to hear.
Verily I say this to thee.
Holy shit! Look at the dick on that son of a bitch!
At least this time they'll get to bed early and have a good night's sleep. And that's it. The first half is pretty much a remake, and the second half is a mess. The film was released 15 months after the first one, so I guess you can say this is what we call a rush job. But I get it. The fire was hot. Sequel was going to do great. You can almost see how they put the film together by just cutting up the first one and coming up with new transitions to try to make it all work. It's not great, but it's tolerable. More tolerable than the third movie. And we did get a Christmas story out of it. Because could you imagine if TNT would run 24 hours of Porky's 2 the next day?
Look at the size of that smash!
Oh, mother.
Porky's Revenge is a 1985 teen sex comedy sequel to 1983's Porky's 2 the Next Day, which was a sequel to 1982's Porky's. The film stars... Alright. Same thing as last time. This one really isn't worth it, so just drop the same shit in and add the new character. I don't care! Rose McVeigh! Fred Buck Bush, whatever the hell his name is. Wendy Fane. Sandy Milky. And the title character, who wasn't in the last film, even though his name was in the title of said film, Chuck Mitchell as Porky. The film starts with a dream sequence featuring graduation, hot blonde foreign exchange students, and public nudity. Because it wouldn't be a Porky's movie without public nudity. Pee-wee must have moved sometime during his senior year because that is not his bedroom from the first two films. The gang gets busted by Ballbricker for watching a stag film in school. I wonder if that's the same stag film that Reverend Flavel was watching in the last movie. And then they get sent to Mr. Carter's third office in this trilogy. Count them. 1, 2, 3. To explain to the youngsters out there what exactly a stag film is, let's just say it would be the modern-day equivalent of you and a group of friends watching Pornhub on your iPhone in the middle of English class. This installment is basketball heavy, and Angel Beach High is trying to get to the state championship. That means in the Porky cinematic universe, basketball season runs right up to graduation in May. I love Porky's continuity! Hey, I just heard the team got offered a classic Roman orgy by the cheerleading squad. I wonder if that's going to happen. Nope. They learn that the coach owes Porky a ton of money, so they head out toward the rubble that was once Porky's playpen. On the way, they dump Meat off on the side of the road to be raped and murdered because, hey, it's fucking hilarious. They learn that Porky didn't rebuild his casino, but he now owns a riverboat. That's right, Porky has gone marine. And check this shit out. The girl that tried to rape Meat?
Hi, Daddy!
Hi, baby. Blossom, you have a good time tonight, child?
Yes, I did, Daddy.
Is Porky's daughter Blossom. They use the relationship between Meat and Blossom to sneak on the boat and check the place out like ninjas.
What the fuck you all think you're doing?
We were...
You was trespassing, boy. According to the law, I could shoot. Great galloping gobs of ghost shit. Your little bastards have ruined my place.
Yeah, good plan. Faced with death, the gang strikes a deal with Porky where they will throw the state championship game as long as he forgives the coach's debts. Such a sacrifice.
If we hold a press conference after we win the game and announce that certain unscrupulous elements wanted us to throw that game, nobody will be able to touch us.
So they decide to screw over Porky because he won't care. We also get a subplot where Meat is failing biology and won't get a play in that state championship game unless he passes the big exam. They proceed to break into the biology classroom, but they don't find the test. They find the most convenient key in film history. Look at that damn thing. It's even marked home. They decide to commit breaking and entering again, only to discover that the biology teacher is playing 50 Shades of with the school chaplain. There's something you don't hear anymore. School chaplain. Luckily, Pee-wee's abusive grandmother lives across the way, and they are able to photograph the pair in their dirty, dirty games for beautiful blackmail goodness. Meanwhile, Miss Ballbreaker winds up getting catfished and winds up in a hotel room with Tommy.
Snooky.
Inga.
Which was actually supposed to be Pee-wee because remember the first movie where she grabbed onto his dong? Hey, it's an honest mistake. Even with the lights off, I wouldn't be able to tell Nancy Parsons from this blonde beauty. We get to the big game, which actually looks like a bunch of old guys having a pickup game at the Y. And we get to hear the worst coach's speech ever.
Tonight you have the chance to be champions. And if you do that, I'm the coach that got you there, and that's what my life is about. Now, I want you to go out there, win.
Apparently, biology teacher Miss Webster really hates Italians and goes ahead and flunks Meat anyway. Meat can't play. Team stinks. Photos found. Meat can play. Hooray! You know, I guess there really is no I in team. But you know, you can't have team without meat. I hope you get that. Obviously, at this point, Porky is losing his shit. But he has time to have a tender moment with Blossom when he finds out that she got Meat's cherry.
Won the game for me.
Who did what for you?
Me Tuparello. It's my boyfriend.
You know that boy?
We went all the way.
I want that bastard married to her.
Ballbreaker ends up getting the man she thought she was getting at the hotel room, and she's nice. So you're telling me, in 3 movies, we could have made her a happier person if she just got a little ass? So then it's prom time. Or actually the outside of the prom, because we have a budget. Porky winds up kidnapping Meat with the idea of forcing him to marry Blossom.
It's not kidnapping when he's gonna be my son-in-law, girl.
Because the criminal Pimp has morals. This time they devise an even more elaborate plan, not over a Sunday, but in 90 minutes. Did they have like a Y2K-ish plan in case Porky bought a big boat or something? It's always nice to have a movie set in the 1950s with a soundtrack that sounds like it was composed by Harold Faltermeyer. They free meat from Porky's clutches and end up taking over a drawbridge, kind of like in our previous film, Smoking the Bandit Part 2. Or was it Smoking the Bandit? No, Smoking the Bandit 2. I'm sorry. Part of me wants to think that that's actually the same bridge. How many counts of attempted murder is that? I think Angel Beach High School needs Morgan Freeman because these are a bunch of sick fucking kids. They graduate like the dream sequence at the beginning of the film, and that's it. Our 31-year-old seniors are now out in the real world. Porky's Revenge closes out the trilogy with a passing wave and pseudo-acknowledgement. You think you know it, but it's just not the same. It's changed somehow. All the hits are here, though. Morning Wood, Porky, Ballbricker, Attempted Murder. The big difference in this film is that there was no Bob Clark leading the charge. Porky's 2 may have been bad, but at least it had heart. This film just feels like 1980s plastic. Honestly, though, the real victim in these films is Porky. Porky's running a business. Some kids show up, he doesn't want to get in trouble, so he throws them out. They destroy his business. Then they renege on a business deal, taint his daughter, and destroy his business again. I'm starting to think we need to start a GoFundMe for Porky Wallace.
No, thank you, sir. I don't drink.
Hey, I don't do business with pussies. Drink up.
Porky's Pimpin' Peewee is a 2009 sex comedy directed by Brian Trenchard Smith and starring Adam Wiley, John Patrick Jordan, Russ Hunt, Whitney Anderson, Sandra McCoy, Kristen Michelle, Barry Livingston, James Moses Black, and Vic Palacios. The film opens with some locker room peeping because first movie, Pee-wee gets busted and teleports, then gets woken up by his mom.
Don't you ever knock?
No, I don't. You've been home from college for 2 weeks and you haven't done a damn thing but jerk off.
Wow. Pee-wee goes to the beach and bitches about his summer watching his uncle's house to Tommy and me.
Oh, and she loved anal.
Very generous. She had a monster butthole.
Okay.
Huh? Just a reminder that the original Porky's was set in 1954 and they did not have helmets like this back then.
Hey, Uncle Howard. Whoa, Pee-wee. Keep those dick beaters away from me.
This is the writing we're dealing with.
Take care of my place, Pee-wee. You got nothing to worry about.
That means this place is going to get trashed. As always, Pee-wee is obsessed with getting laid and they discuss heading to Porky's.
Come on, Pee-wee. Don't be such a worrywart. They got a whole new setup over there. New manager, new girls, new everything. I even hear they got porn stars now.
Don't they remember what happened last time?
Are you even considering Meat's feelings here?
Yeah, what about me?
What about you? You've got a cock the size of a sledgehammer and you're leaving for the Navy at the end of the summer.
I thought Meat was going to Princeton or some shit. What the fuck?
This is a man's business, baby.
Trust me, I know what a guy wants.
Not as much as Tina does.
You know, every time you talk to that Tinseltown twat.
One of the biggest names in adult entertainment.
That's not Porky, but he is having a business conversation with his daughter, who is much hotter than Blossom from Porky's Revenge.
Staff turnover has nearly doubled from when Uncle Cyrus had the place.
Please, don't mention that dumbass's name. He almost ruined the joint.
What? If we're talking about the original Porky, it wasn't his fault. It was those fucking degenerate kids that destroyed his business. Twice. He blows off Shelly's plan, and here are your porkettes. Pee-wee and Meat make a deal with Porky, and he blows through most of the $1,000 his uncle gave him earlier in the day. Here's how it's going for Pee-wee. Meanwhile, Tommy is hitting it off with Shelly at the bar. Is that a fucking cell phone? So I guess we're in agreement this is some kind of remake.
Hey, would you want to come to a party this weekend?
Maybe.
And that party will probably be at Uncle Howard's. And in Meat's room... And they're tossed out of the place with Porky keeping the money. Here's porn star Tina discussing her employment status.
But all you want is a fuck factory. You know, I've got my customers to think about, not to mention my thesis.
Look, more fucking equals more money.
Damn, look at Pee-wee's uncle's crib.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but Porky's to the Next Day is a superior film. Here's some farting.
What the hell?
And they sell the party to Pee-wee. And Shelly calls everyone she knows to show up at said party. Montage!
Well, hello, beautiful. I'm Meat.
I can tell.
Can you?
Every time his dick rings, a porn star gets VD.
Look, you gotta make like Eskimo Snatch and chill.
Classy. Everyone goes topless with Pee-wee seeming to hook up with one of the ladies. Well, that sucks.
Oh, gosh.
Oh my god.
Don't sniff it! Here's a house getting trashed montage.
I'm only supposed to come in here to dust.
That's too bad. We could do a lot more in here than dust.
This film is written like porn. Then this happens.
Oh no!
Oh my god!
Not the vases!
Is that music from The Shining?
Bummer about that, Pee-wee.
Oh, fuck.
And I hate to raid on your parade, but we're out of beer, too.
Pee-wee is fucked and needs to come up with a way to fix everything, so they are obviously going to open a whorehouse. So this is actually a remake of Risky Business and not Porky's. As Tina gets into it about being overworked by Porky, Shelly presents a PowerPoint.
But we'll put webcams in all the rooms so we can say we're just making some nice, homegrown pornography here.
And as classy as this movie is, you can sell that footage as amateur porn.
We can't cause any more damage to this place. And we don't have a liquor license, so we can't sell a drop of booze. Complimentary drinks only.
You're opening a whorehouse. Who gives a fuck about you not having a liquor license? I don't think your uncle is going to like these cameras installed all over his house. Here's another montage. Charles Manson?
So, what about you and Pee-wee?
He's a sex predator. Here's a sex worker job fair.
Do you have any special skills?
Was that a spin serve?
Jesus. 22? What does he think I am?
A whore?
Damn. Then she quits and immediately gets a call to work at Pee-wee's. Convenient! Magic. Tina arrives at Pee-wee's and Porky's looks as busy as a Kmart.
So, why do they call you Pee-wee?
It's like a flip on the meat joke from the other movies.
Do you really want to be a dentist?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
There is no way I would allow his hands anywhere near my mouth. Kiss her, dumbass!
Let Meat and Tina have a moment. Who fucking cares?
Alright, ladies. Who's ready to do the baloney pony?
Yeah, I can't fucking show that.
9,406 and some change, even after we tipped out the girls.
So you're only paying them 18%. That's not legal tender.
Enjoying the party?
Oh my god. You're a pimp, Pee-wee.
No, he's not. There's a montage here, but it's so filthy I can't show it.
Well, my trip's been cut short, and I'll be home in a few days now. Be sure to use the disinfectant.
Cliche! I just realized this guy looks like a low-rent Bill Duke. And Porky finds out about the new whorehouse in town. On the beach, Pee-wee makes a move on Vanessa, but gets shit on. Another night, and this is probably when it goes to shit because Porky's got a gun. Here's a collection of great hookups. Fuck you! Once again, it's a reminder of a better movie, which I shouldn't be able to say about Porky's Revenge. Isn't this Home Invasion?
Daddy?
Sorry, I was gonna tell you.
What the hell are you doing here with all these degenerates?
You run a whorehouse that's even sleazier than this one.
You run this place.
Damn right I do.
Do you have any idea how much money I've lost?
I have some idea.
You've almost ruined me.
After 3 nights, your business plan sucks ass. There's a daddy-daughter moment with Porky agreeing to pay back the $750 that they spent on whores. I don't know how he can come up with that kind of money since he's fucking ruined.
And I found out why they call him Pee-wee. But it's okay. He's got girth.
Really going for the hard sell there. And they got enough money to replace the antiques. But don't you still have to buy them?
Well, my uncle's not due back for another couple of weeks, so, guess we could party? Party.
Busted. Do you think he's going to wonder why there are so many cameras installed in his trashed house? And it's an everyone in the pool cliche. We're great friends. You know, you don't have to shame me like this. Porky's Pimpin' Pee-wee makes the other Porky's films look like they are part of the Godfather saga. This is one of those movies that was made just to retain the rights to the IP. Not that any of that ever went anywhere. This is a cheap, quick film with shitty direction, shitty writing, and shitty acting. There is no budget with this movie. It was supposed to be a direct sequel of the original films. The problem is, to set a movie in the 50s, you need money, which this film did not have. It's a good thing this film is short, but it is 77 minutes of torture. Sitting through Porky's Pimpin' Pee-wee is the equivalent of eating a foot-long shit sandwich.
You know what they say, a little man, little dick.